Welcome to week 2 of the Book of Mormon. I hope all of you had a wonderful time going over week 1. I can tell you as an instructor the feedback that I got from your posts as well as your weekly journals was great. And there's just a lot of learning that I can tell happen, and so that's really exciting. A couple of things that I just wanted to remind people of regarding the weekly journals. Please make sure that if you have a chance, give me about at least 2 or 3 different scriptures that, rather than some of you had just as part of your journal just focused on one. I'd love to be able to see something a little bit more substantive from some of you to provide maybe 2 or 3 examples of scriptures that were meaningful to you. Also regarding the posts, the discussion board post. The first post, just a reminder that it needs to be done by Wednesday evening. And most of you were there. Starting next week, I'll need to make sure that that's a requirement, that Wednesday evening is the first post. Now, as we look forward to Alma chapter 36, through the next couple of chapters, there's a lot of exciting, great things that we get to read about and learn about this week. Alma chapter 36 is remarkable. Alma, much like Paul, was an individual that was converted through miraculous means. And in Alma's case, he went through a stage that we find out in Alma 36, where for 3 days and 3 nights he was racked with torment. And those 3 days and 3 nights are symbolic of the 3 days and 3 nights of the Savior between the death and the resurrection. The middle part of Alma 36, verses 16 through 20, becomes really the centerpiece of this particular chapter. And for those of you who are interested in evidences of the Book of Mormon, this becomes one of the great chiasms of the Book of Mormon. And what I will do is, part of my announcement post for this week, I will give you a PDF file that gives you an example of how this is a chiasm and what a chiasm is. But it's truly a remarkable chapter showing the evidences of the Book of Mormon from a literary standpoint. But from a spiritual standpoint, we learn that as Alma focuses on the Savior, he's healed. And that is so important for each of us to understand, that our individual healing, whether it be our spiritual healing or our emotional healing, comes through the Savior. Now, as we move on into chapter 37, we hear this wonderful term that Helaman talks about, great things and small things, and how it is not the great things, but the small things that impacts our own lives. And so as we listen to what is being taught here, we find out that the small things that we do on a daily basis, such things as reading our scriptures, prayer, these are the things that literally impact our spiritual development. It's not the great things. Few of us will have, truly great, remarkable things that we are asked to do. It's a number of small things. And so we learn that. We also learn about, as we go further on into the chapters, about how it is through small and simple things that we are able to progress spiritually. And again, that's a great example of how we need to focus each day. Now, one of the chapters that I would like to just talk briefly about too is in chapter 37, when we learn about how the Liahona is a type, a symbol for each of us. It represents really the Spirit as our guide. And here in verses 45 and 46, we learn that the statement here, "O my son, do not let us be slothful because of the easiness of the way." And the gospel itself is not technically hard. It's easy to understand what we're supposed to do. It's just hard to follow through. So these are some tremendous chapters, a lot of direct application to each of us, and I hope as you read these that you will learn to love these chapters as much as I do. So again, welcome to week 2, and if you have any questions about anything, please be free to give me a call or to Skype me whatever makes sense if you have any questions.